Very good afternoon, all ICI members. I hope you are all doing well. I am Nitin Jalan, Chartered Accountant from Jaipur, host, honored to host this esteemed webinar by of ICI. I am thankful to Mr. President ICI and Chairman CMP ICI to giving me this opportunity to host this webinar. And this webinar is upon startup entrepreneurship, subsidies, and capacity building initiative of CMP. Now I am asking Mr. Piyush Kumar Mittal to address about the topic. Hello, sir.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Firstly, good noon to everyone. And I'm Piyush Mittal. I'm the practicing chartered accountant from Jaipur also. I'm the senior member. I'm senior partner of the AVPM and Associates, and we are Jaipur-based chartered accountant. And today will be firstly I will to thank also the chairman and the vice chairman of our CMP committee of member practice. And firstly, I want to thanks to the guys member, and I want to discuss firstly about myself. Can I share the screen, please, sir?
Yes, sir. You can share.
Yeah, sure.
You can start.
Okay, guys. Today topic is the startup entrepreneurship and subsidy. This topic is will be fruitful and helpful to the all the practicing member who are starting their practicing or they sometimes like and also who's the member who want to convert their practice from traditional to dynamic approach, right? So under this PPT, I will cover many of the agendas which will helpful and fruitful to all these members. Firstly, I will introduce myself. I'm member of the ICI, also the member ICI qualified. I'm the PhD scholar, and my topic of PhD is startup. And my topic to the startup is and my can I say uh, just one, minute, just one, minute. Yes. And my topic on the startup is challenges for the startups in India. And I'm the senior faculty of ICI and ICSI, also some government department, DIC, KVIC, NSIC, SBI, and some reputed university and incubation centers. So today we will our agenda for that topic. Just one minute. Yeah, agenda of the startup funding and subsidy will be the startup innovation and traditional business. Guys, I so, firstly, I will start this PPT. I will make some data for all of you because webinar on the basis of to CMP members. So I want to say something to you. I make some data for all of you, and I make some data just well. Guys, firstly, I want to discuss these department. यानी कि we will discuss which departments is available for subsidy. Under this 1 minute, guys, if you have to start your practice or you are engaging in any practice, then I want to firstly discuss all these departments because if you are coming in practice in subsidy, this is the MSME department. गाइस जो मेंबर्स इन प्रैक्टिस हैं और जो अपने उनको लगता है कि वे जो डायनामिक एरियाज में काम करना चाह रहे हैं तो उनके लिए मैंने ये सारे जो पेपर्स तैयार किए हैं और ये इतने फ्रूटफुल और हेल्पफुल हैं बिकॉज आई एम वर्किंग सिंस 2015 एंड आई एम टेकिंग द लेक्चर सिंस 2012 इन एमएसएमई डिपार्टमेंट सो आई फील इफ मेंबर इन प्रैक्टिस जो अपना एरिया डायनामिक करना चाहते हैं दे कैन डू देयर प्रैक्टिस इन ऑल दीज टॉपिक्स बिकॉज आप देख सकते हैं ऑन माई स्क्रीन ये जितनी भी मैं सब्सिडी स्कीम है आई विल शेयर आप मेरे को मेल आईडी शेयर कर दीजिएगा देन आई विल शेयर दीज ऑल डॉक्यूमेंट्स टू बिलो फ्रॉम यू इन माई प्रैक्टिस के बारे में बताऊं तो इस अगर हम 2 या 3 सब्सिडीज पे भी वर्क करते हैं इट विल सफिशिएंट फॉर all these member, because as an example, our MSME department, these department of central ministry also, मैं जब आगे अभी थोड़ा देर बाद मैं आपके साथ जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडीज हैं वो भी डिस्कस करूंगा. Also I will discuss startup and entrepreneurship. So you can see the first thing is the MSME. MSME के अंडर में कौन कौन सी सब्सिडीज हमारे लिए अवेलेबल हैं. So guys, if you want to start your practice or you want to change something from traditional to dynamic, so आप बात कर सकते हैं PMEGP. I will discuss this PMEGP in brief because it's a very important subsidy in case of the who want to start their venture or entrepreneur. Okay. Performance and credit rating scheme. So, and the CGTMSE is a very important, biggest funding approach to the MSME units. MSME units, I think all of you know about the definition of MSME. Up to 1 crore of your plant and machinery and 5 crore of your turnover. In case that is micro units. Small units, if your plant and machinery is up to 10 crore and your plant and machinery up to 50 crore. So this type of all these MSME, they can avail all these subsidy which are you seeing on that screen, right? As the MDPA, Market Promotion Development Scheme. It's a very important and good scheme. If you have written some foreign export customers, then you can prefer this scheme to your customers. Okay, under this scheme, that's called MDA, Market Development Assistance. Under this scheme, you can offer to your client, or you can give your client airfare, also the exhibition participation in the foreign exhibitions. For this purpose, you require to firstly take the list of the exhibitions from the MSME department, or you can search this list from MSME website, DIMSME. So, guys, this is very important scheme because if your customer want to exhibit his services or product in the foreign market, he can avail this scheme. This is very important. Under this scheme, 75% of the airfare and stall charges will be bear by the MSME department. Okay, the next scheme is 40, rampant scheme of fund regeneration traditional industries. Guys, I'm discussing these all scheme on just short basis, but just after we will discuss in the depth. But I will discuss the important some schemes which is very important to all of the. I will take 1 or 2 minutes for each. Also, I want to share a Excel sheet with all of you. How can you start your practice in the startups? Because this is my PhD topic, and I want to generate some knowledge for our members, our viewers, and also our readers. Okay. The next is Koyar Uddham Yojana. It's a very important scheme, and Koyar Vikas, both are the approximately same, but with some differentiations. Skill upgradation in Mahila Power scheme, also domestic market promotion. Guys, this is very important. If you are registered under the MSME and you have a valid Uddham Aadhaar number, then you can apply for the domestic market promotion schemes. Because as an example, in the Delhi Pragati Maidan, if you want to join any exhibition on the behalf of the government, you can use this scheme and you require to apply under scheme through the MSME department, MSME DI. In each and every state on the district headquarters, you can apply for that scheme. You require to fill application just before the exhibition, and firstly you require to pay all these exhibition and stall charges to the firstly to the vendor. After that, the department will reimburse these expenses to you on the behalf of the documentation submitted by you. As an example, invoice copy of the and स्टॉल पे जो भी आपके सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं आपको सबमिट करने होंगे. द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज अ डोमेस्टिक मार्केट प्रमोशन. डोमेस्टिक हम लोगों ने कवर कर लिया. नेक्स्ट ट्रेड, TRIFSS, ये भी ट्रेड इंडस्ट्री एंड रिलेटेड फंक्शनल सपोर्ट सर्विसेज. फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट्स इन द जेड जेड सर्टिफिकेट, जीरो एंड डिफेक्ट. तो इस सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए भी आपके जो चार्जेस लगते हैं, इफ यू आर ए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंटिटी एंड यू वांट टू follow the JED certification, then these expenses also will be bear by the MSME department. Guys, also some of the subsidies, just you can see, actually our time is very low. So I have many of the data and many important things to all of you. Actually, we try, our team is very hard working on that the data and topics. So this is very important. I will give providing, you can send me your mail and I will send you all these documents to you. Okay, lean manufacturing market barcode. Yeah, guys, it's a very important. Mostly of chartered accountants deal in the trademark, GI tax, patent, barcode. Till now, barcode is not working right now, but our team is added. This is but GI tag, trademark, and GI tag, trademark, and patent is working right now. Okay, guys. So if you are charging any bill from your customer of service under patent, that comes to the IPR activities. So rupees 1 lakh per customer subsidy provided by the MSME. तो आप 1 लाख रुपीज तक आप अपने कस्टमर को सब्सिडी दे सकते हैं अंडर द एमएसएमई। तो आप एमएसएमई का जो डीआई का नियर बाई जो भी ऑफिस है, सो आप वहां पे जाके बात कर सकते हैं कि सर मुझे बारकोड पे सब्सिडी, सॉरी बारकोड, आपको पेटेंट पे सब्सिडी क्लेम करनी है। For trademark, we are charging approximately 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 for our trademark charges for customers. On trademark, 10,000 rupees per trademark subsidy will be provided by the MSME department. So these all are very important subsidies. Guys, आप मेंबर इन प्रैक्टिस हैं और आप चाहते हैं कि आपको जो सर्विस अपना स्टार्ट करना है, कोई भी आप अपना मान के चले, या फिर अपनी सेगमेंटेशन शुरू करना चाहते हैं इन योर प्रैक्टिस, सो यू कैन फॉलो दीज अप्रोच। आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं सब्सिडीज का। In my practical scenario, I right now I'm working only 2 or 3 subsidies only, but for these 2 or 3 subsidy, mostly 20 to 30 जो कलीग्स हैं मेरे को उनके साथ मिलकर काम करना पड़ रहा है, क्योंकि इतना सारा काम उसके लिए अवेलेबल होता है। तो आप समझिए कि आई एम सेइंग टू ऑल ऑफ दिस डिपार्टमेंट, ऑल दिस सब्सिडीज। आपको मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टेक्सटाइल है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फूड प्रोसेसिंग है, राइट। आप मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टेक्सटाइल में जैसे एक स्कीम है CLCSS, राइट नाउ CLCSS इज नॉट वर्किंग, but LCSS is working right now. We will discuss in detail CLCSS in our PPT. Okay, guys. Yarn Bank scheme, creation of the new Nightingale and Nightmare clusters, SITP sub scheme. So you can start your practice from these all of these schemes. Ministry of Food. This is very important. PMFME. Guys, mostly of chartered accountants know about the DRP. DRP, District Resource Person. If you are a new chartered accountant or you want to start your practice in food related subsidy, you can take the license under DRP, Food and Processing Department. You can apply through a fill a form. You can select 2 or 3 districts nearby where you want to working in this subsidy. For the working of your subsidy, आप जो भी projections और client के लिए जो भी working करके देंगे, on their behalf, department will provide to you 30 to 35,000 rupees per case. So if you want to start your practice, then you can Kisan Sampada and PMFME, PLISFPI, Product Linked Incentive Scheme. Okay, guys. So next is the Ministry of New and Relevant. Guys, these all are subsidies and these are very important to all of you. जो भी आपको लगता है, you can start in this field. Okay. Then other is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Guys, some of subsidies are providing at very low level financing. And also I want to discuss कि mostly of the subsidies हैं वो always funding पे depend होती है। 95% subsidies are dependent on the finance. If अगर कस्टमर को आपको लग, if you are a practicing member, you can आप इसको लाइव अपने जो फाइनेंस का वर्क है वो भी साथ में कर सकते हैं। आल्सो यू कैन प्रोवाइड दी सब्सिडीज विद द फाइनेंस। सो इफ दिस इज हमारे जो मेंबर्स इन प्रैक्टिस हैं उनके लिए इट विल वेरी हेल्पफुल होगा कि दे कैन स्टार्ट their practicing with finance also in subsidies. Okay, and formation of new FPOs, this is very important. Namo drone Vivi, these all these subsidy you can start agroforestry, crop readiness. तो guys ये हो गए आपकी हैं agriculture and farmers. Okay, electronic and information technologies, these all are the PLI, product linked incentive scheme. So all of you know that in the Modi government, PLI is a very important, and for the whose industry want to come into the India, so they can avail the subsidy of under the PLI based on the product. That's mean to who जो कंपनियां हैं वो जो प्रोडक्शंस कर रही हैं उनकी प्रोडक्शन के बेसिस पे ये सब्सिडी सारी प्रोवाइड कर रही है। ओके, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज एंड अदर्स। तो गाइज ये अदर सारी सब्सिडीज हैं, तो ये सारी सब्सिडीज हम लोगों ने डिपार्टमेंट वाइज कैटेगराइज की हैं। इट विल हेल्प टू ऑल ऑफ यू। ओके, नेक्स्ट चलते हैं। ओके, ओके गाइज, सो टुडे हमारा जो एजेंडा है वो है हम लोग स्टार्टअप्स, इनकी इनोवेशन एंड ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस के बारे में बात करेंगे। द नेक्स्ट द डेप्थ फंडिंग ऑप्शंस टू द स्टार्टअप्स। आज जस्ट बिफोर आई टेल अबाउट यू, कि मैंने बताया कि आपको इस बारे में कि डेप्थ फंडिंग ऑलवेज, अब जो डेप्थ फंडिंग होती है उसके अंदर हम लोग जो देखें तो वो आपके सब्सिडी और जो डेप्थ है फाइनेंस है दोनों साथ साथ चलते हैं। सब्सिडी और कभी अकेली नहीं चलती है, फाइनेंस आप चाहें तो दे सकते हैं, बट इफ यू वांट टू, आपको लगता है कि आप कुछ एक्स्ट्रा गेन करना चाह रहे हैं, देन यू कैन प्रोवाइड सब्सिडी। सब्सिडी अवेलेबल फॉर द स्टार्टअप्स। इन्वेस्टर्स इन्वेस्ट इन स्टार्टअप्स। Key factor investors pay attention to invest in startups and things prepare for fundraising and how to reach the investors. Okay, guys. So next, हम लोग बात करते हैं basic introduction of startups and innovations. Okay, what is the startup? Right, startup is a product, service, business model or strategy that can be both novel and useful. These two points are very important: novel and useful. If you are providing any product, any service in the different manner, in the different way, that's mean you are doing something new. So startup can be conversion of a existing services, existing products, existing model, existing strategies, उनको आपने क्या किया है, उनको एक न्यू फॉर्मेट में दिया है, जो आपका टाइम, मनी, आपकी आपकी जो भी एफर्ट्स हैं उनको सेव करने यानी उनको बचाने में काम करता है। सो as an example, Airbnb. Airbnb is a very good example, and we will discuss as an example of the grocery shop versus grocers. Grocery shop nearby the grocery shop, you firstly want to go there and buy, you paid in the cash or in through UPI, and then buy your goods. But through the grocers, you can request for goods or any product through a mobile app, and you can pay directly to the UPI or you any other options. Okay, so startup is a unique solution which save time, money, and efforts of human being with or without technology. Obviously, it can be with or without technology. Example is a DMart. DMart is a very good example because they are buying goods in bulk, so they are taking the heavy discounted from the suppliers or vendors. Okay, without technology or new business model, they can be as simple and upgrades to a company customer service and features added to an existing product. Okay, guys, that's called a startup. Innovation. What the innovation? What the difference between startups and innovation? Guys, innovation is a part of the startup because always if you are doing you are making a new product, new service, first time that's it's come to the innovation. But startup can be also for new product, also for existing product. Okay, so innovation refer to the process of creating and implementing new idea, product, service, process that significantly improve existing solution and address new challenges and opportunities. It involves the introduction of something new or a significant improvement over the existing technology methodology. तो guys, हम लोग बात करें रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन स्टार्टअप एंड इनोवेशन की, तो ऑलवेज जो स्टार्टअप है वो ड्राइविंग इनोवेशन बेस होगा और इनोवेशन इज एस्टेब्लिश्ड कंपनीज. ओके गाइस, what is the factor that help an entrepreneur become a successful startup? Guys, this is a very important, actually firstly I want, मैं सोच रहा था कि मेरे को ये रखना चाहिए नहीं रखना चाहिए, but mostly of viewers want to make their startup, so I think this is very important slides to all these persons जो अपना खुद का एक स्टार्टअप करना चाह रहे हैं. और I will take a practically example on myself. Actually मेरा खुद का एक स्टार्टअप है, तो I will discuss के सामने कि हम लोग कैसे इसको और अच्छे से कर सकते हैं और कैसे समझ सकते हैं, राइट? तो यूनिक वैल्यू प्रपोजिशन, यूनिक वैल्यू प्रपोजिशन के अंदर इनोवेशन और डिफरेंशिएशन, offering a unique and innovative product and service that solve a real problem and address as a unmet need. Guys, I want to discuss an example to all of you. वी आर मेकिंग ए, हम लोग स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं एक स्टार्टअप को. वी आर दिस इज अ वेरी गुड टीम फॉर अंडर दिस स्टार्टअप. अब मैं आपके साथ शेयर भी करता हूँ जिससे थोड़ा सा आपको अच्छा समझ में आएगा एक चीज कि फॉर व्हेन जब नए कम जो चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट्स क्वालिफाइड चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट्स जो मार्केट में आते हैं, एट दैट टाइम दे डोंट नो हाउ टू डू द registration, how to do the take the customers, how to do the offer servicing, right? They don't know actually because they qualified as an example, not even chartered accountant, it's architects, advocates, right? And other all other, like this in बात करें company secretaries, cost chartered cost management, many of the professionals. So they don't know about how to participate in the market. यानी कि वो services का knowledge नहीं है. So for that purpose, firstly they require to work in anywhere like as a under the chartered accountant, the company secretary, under the architect, under the I'm taking an example. Under this startup, they will firstly require to learn. So it's like ऐसे हम लोग एक प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करा सकते हैं उन लोगों को जिससे कि हमको जितने भी नीड्स हैं इट विल बी फीस ऑन द सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल. अभी हम आगे डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे, लेट्स सी इसको. तो उस सब्सक्रिप्शन बेस पे हम लोग उसको एक सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करा सकते हैं जिससे कि वो लर्न कर सके. जैसे कि एक यूट्यूब चैनल है, यूट्यूब में ऑल आर अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड बट वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग ऑल दीज रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्विसेज एंड उसको हम वीडियोज हैं जिससे वो लर्न करे एंड दे कैन स्टार्ट हिज ऑफिस और देयर स्टार्टअप. ओके, सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल बी अंडर ए सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल के अंदर हुआ. एग्जांपल कि 999 के अंदर 49 सर्विसेज का एक मॉडल बना के दे दिया है. और चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को अगर लगता है कि उसे अदर कोई असिस्टेंस चाहिए तो वो भी उसे मिल सकती है. तो इट विल बी एज ए एग्जांपल ऑफ स्टार्टअप. सो इनोवेशन, व्हाट द इनोवेशन आप मार्केट में देखेंगे ये प्रोडक्ट इट्स लाइक ये इनोवेशन है. अभी तक पूरे ऑल ओवर इंडिया में इस सर्विस को कोई भी प्रोवाइड नहीं करा रहा है किया जाए कि आपको सारी सर्विसेज एक ही जगह पे, यानी कि वो उस चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के लिए एक ऐसा सोर्स आ रहा है he can avail all these and he can learn all these things from that portal. Okay, guys, that is the differentiation. Differentiation yani distinguish your startup from competitors through unique features. If you are doing the unique and better quality and superior customer service, then you will differentiate from the others. Okay, so it is very important. The market understanding. What is the market understanding? Under the without any market research, you can't start your services. Okay, so this is the important conducting through market research or understand customer need, preferences, and pain points. Target audience. Identify the target and right audience with the clear understanding on the business. Business model, guys, is a very important thing. Business model is very important because it will be lead growth. Because if under this business model, it's like example sustainable model, developing the sustainable and scalable model. Because if you can't do expansion or you can't do add new services in your startup, then you can't do the live long, right? Okay, so that can generate revenue and profit for long term. तो आपको अगर लंबे टाइम के लिए अगर revenue profit generate करने हैं, then you require to make a sustained model under this business model. Clear monetization is key strategy. Having a clear plan for how to startup will make money because each and every startup, firstly, if any founder or if any funder or any venture VC seed funder, so firstly, what is the real revenue model? How do you earn money from that startup? Okay, so under this business model, you firstly require to monetize strategy. Okay, next is the team and talent. Skill team is a, in my opinion, there are the four pillar of a business. What that? Firstly, your team, your customer, your funding, or you. That all these four are the main pillar of your business. If any of the pillar आपको लगता है कि वो अगर दिक्कत करता है तो obviously you can't do sustain your business. Okay, so skill team is very important and your leadership both is the important thing for the team and talent. Execution, operational efficiency executing business plans, managing resources and ensuring smooth operations. Adaptability. What is under the adaptability? Being the quickly adopt and changing the market condition, customer feedback, and unforeseen changes. Guys, these all other are the topics. Funding. जैसे मैंने बताया कि this is the main core pillar of the business. Funding, because mostly of the startup, firstly वो अपना स्टार्टअप के हिसाब से तैयार करते हैं कि उनको आगे चल के फंडिंग लेनी है. सो दे फंडिंग इज द फोर पिलर, कैपिटल एंड फाइनेंशियल. Customer focus, customer also is the main pillar of the business. Marketing and branding, guys, under my PhD topic, first when I see what is the main cause for the failure of the startup, the marketing and the branding, the X is the biggest reason for failure of the startup. Because an example, when I'm making some research paper on Byju's. Byju's valuation was the last $23 billion, right? Right now the billion is $2 billion. So what is the reason for the Byju's downfall? The reason is their marketing expenditure. Marketing expenditure was very high under a startup. When you will see the burn rate, then you will see that it's very important. The burn rate is very high of the each and every startup. 95% or 90% of the failure of the startup is the main reason is the marketing and branding, the networking and mentorship. Guys, it's a very important tips for all of our practicing members, because our networking and mentorship will help you make connections, and this and mentorship आपको help करती है आपके experience entrepreneurship को on technologies and innovations. Guys, just after some PPTs, I will discuss is this topic. Technologies हम लोगों को important है because tech integration. आपको समझिए कि right now, mostly of the startups are based on tech tools. Okay, so आपको अगर लगता है कि आपको अपना स्टार्टअप को सस्टेन करना है, यू वांट टू वर्क इन डायनामिक अप्रोच, सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग कि आपको टेक्नोलॉजी को करना ही होगा. Now, leveraging technology to improve efficiency, enhance customer experience, and gain a competitive edge. Okay? Resilience and persistence. आपको staying the resilience in the face challenges, setbacks, and failures. Legal and regulatory compliances. This is very important. If you want to your startup, mostly of chartered accountants generally. If you talk about in chartered C, if a C in practice want to start their startup, legal and regulatory compliances. As an example, if you are starting your ITR return startup, right? As an example, many of the startup are working in the ITR. Firstly, they will check all these things. The what we are non-complying of the what provisions, and we are complying on the which of the legal and regulatory frameworks, right? Okay, so compliance and intellectual property both are important things under the legal and regulatory compliances. Scalability is the very important. Scalable. That's what the expansion of your startup. What आप कितना उसको दूर तक उसको कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं, यानी कितनी आप उसके बढ़ावा दे सकते हैं. That is the scalability of your startup. Your startup, your product, your service is not scalable, then you can't do sustain, you can't do survive in the this competitive market. So it's a very important thing that कि scalability is the important, कि आपको अपने प्रोडक्ट को स्केलेबल बनाना होगा, और आपका सर्विस या प्रोडक्ट जो भी आप बेच रहे हैं वो आपको एक पूरा होलिस्टिक अप्रोच पे फोकस करना होगा कि वो हु इज द आवर टारगेट ऑडियंस, हु इज आवर टारगेट प्रोडक्ट, हु इज आवर टारगेट मार्केट. ओके, टाइमिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. As example, in the corona, this Zoom is a very important software at that time, but right now we are seeing the slowly this software, we are not using this software. Right now we are doing some face-to-face meetings, and after in the long term we will see कि ये टाइम के साथ में हो सकता है कि और भी ज्यादा इसमें चेंजेस आने लग जाए. ओके गाइस, अब इम्पोर्टेंट बात करते हैं. दिस इज ए कॉमन टॉपिक. दिस इज स्टार्टअप. What is the entity which cover mostly all three entities: private limited, partnership and LLP. आपकी तीनों कवर होती हैं इसके अंदर. आपका स्टार्टअप आपका 10 साल से ज्यादा पुराना नहीं होना चाहिए. व्हाट्स योर टर्नओवर? योर टर्नओवर डज 100 crore, ठीक है, 100 crore, राइट, एग्जैक्ट 100 crore रुपीज. एंड द नेचर ऑफ एक्टिविटी, आप उसके अंदर स्टार्टअप के अंदर इसके लेवल, यानी कि आप कुछ डिफरेंशिएट कर रहे हैं, इनोवेटिव कर रहे हैं, आप डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एनी इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एंड द सर्विसेज है, जॉब क्रिएशन है. जॉब क्रिएशन इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग टू व्हेन यू विल वर्क इन द सब्सिडी सेगमेंट, राइट. आप करेंगे तो उसमें आपको एक बहुत बड़ा दिक्कत आता है कि what the number of jobs are you created. आप कितने आपने क्रिएशन किया, आप कितने क्रिएट कर रहे हो. एक एग्जांपल है पीएमईजीपी, प्राइम मिनिस्टर एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन प्रोग्राम. सो अंडर द पीएमईजीपी एक उसमें प्रोविजन है कि आप जितने का टर्म लोन ले रहे हो उस हिसाब से नंबर ऑफ जॉब्स आर क्रिएटेड और नॉट. ओके, सो वेल्थ क्रिएशन आल्सो इज इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर द स्टार्टअप्स. Like this is the startup steps. Startup steps is a define your problem. Right now we are facing some problem. As an example, I will take my startup example कि जो न्यू स्टार्टअप, न्यू चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं, न्यू कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज हैं, न्यू सीएमए, दे कि वो इनिशियल पास होते ही अपना प्रैक्टिस शुरू कर सके। फर्स्टली दे विल रिक्वायर टू, उनको कहीं ना कहीं पे उनको पहले सीखना होगा, लर्न करना होगा, क्योंकि उनका कोई भी इसमें हेल्प नहीं करेगा। रिसर्च योर मार्केट। आवर मार्केट इज चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स, एडवोकेट्स, आपके वैल्यूअर्स, एग्जाम्पल आपके जितने भी कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, सीएमएस एंड ऑल दीज प्रोफेशनल आर आवर मार्केट, राइट? Validate your idea. So firstly I will check कि this is valid. Firstly we will take some research interviews, or we will take questionnaires, examiners from the new passing candidates, and ask them कि this will be validate or not. Are you interested in this startup or not? This is a exam, validate your idea. Step 4, develop your solution. We will make a platform. We will take all of you chartered accountants in their specific fields, right? Example, if any chartered accountants want to do in आपको मान के लगता है कि सब्सिडीज में डील कर रहा है, देन आई विल प्रोवाइड माय एग्जांपल। हम लोग उसमें वीडियोस प्रोवाइड कराएंगे, रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस प्रोवाइड कराएंगे, वी विल गिव द डेटा, फॉर्म्स और अदर थिंग्स। इफ अपन को लगता है ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग में डील करना है, देन वी विल हायर सम चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट्स और टेक द लेक्चर्स ऑफ दैट चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट। और हम क्या करेंगे, फिर उनके रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस को, एग्जांपल उनको हम लोग उस पे पोर्टल्स पे डालेंगे। तो इस तरह से डेवलप योर सॉल्यूशन। हम लोग चेक करेंगे कि हाँ ये सॉल्यूशन प्रॉपर वर्क कर। क्रिएट a business model. Yes, this is a very important thing. Create a business model. Under the business model, what is the important? Your revenue model. Revenue model is a very important thing. As an example, हमको लगता है कि we will provide a subscription model to the new passing candidates example. तो new passing candidates के लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि उनको मान के चलिए एग्जाम्पल 999 के अंदर हमने सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल दिया। वी विल गिव यू द 99 सर्विसेज बंडल, 199 also we can provide the customer service as an example under the startup. Okay, build your team. Who are the main four areas? Who are the main team? Like आपका आपका जो आपका सेल्स कौन देखेगा, आपका रिकॉर्डिंग सेशंस कौन करेगा, आपकी टीम क्या होगी, आपकी सेल्स कौन होगा। तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। Okay, product or service. So for this startup, firstly, we will launch our services through the website. So it can be हम लोग उसमें यूज कर सकते हैं, इसमें हम लोग एडसेंस यूज कर सकते हैं, गूगल एडसेंस लगा सकते हैं, राइट? वी कैन यूज द फेसबुक एड्स एंड वी कैन यूज एनी अदर प्लेटफॉर्म्स फॉर द मार्केटिंग। मार्केट योर बिजनेस, ग्रो योर बिजनेस। देन इफ अगर आपको लगता है कि सब्सक्राइबर ज्यादा से ज्यादा गेन कर रहे हैं, ज्यादा से ज्यादा कस्टमर्स बढ़ रहे हैं, देन हम लोग ग्रो करते हैं और रेज मनी थ्रू योर स्टार्टअप। व्हाट इज द लास्ट 10 पॉइंट अंडर दिस पॉइंट फॉर द एनहांस? बिकॉज एट द टाइम ऑफ द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द स्टार्टअप हम लोग देखते हैं कि हमारे जो मार्केटिंग के एक्सपेंसेस है, जैसे कि लास्ट मैंने आपको मेरी रिसर्च थ्योरी में जो बाइजू पे की, मैंने वहां पे पाया कि मार्केटिंग एक्सपेंसेस आर वेरी हाई ड्यू टू द देयर मार्केटिंग एक्सपेंसेस और देयर एक्सपांशन एक्सपेंसेस, जो डाउनफॉल हुआ बाइजू के अंदर, दैट द बिगेस्ट रीजन फॉर दैट। तो रेज मनी फॉर योर स्टार्टअप, हम लोग मनी को रेज करके देन वी विल एक्सपांड आवर बिजनेस एंड वी कैन ओपन अदर सेगमेंटेशंस इन आवर स्टार्टअप। सो आई विल टेक दिस एग्जांपल प्रैक्टिकली टू ऑल ऑफ यू। तो हम लोग इसका एक एग्जांपल से आपको कुछ समझ में। what is the problem faced by the staff? Guys, this is a very important thing. This is the important also. When I in my research I found that जो प्रोडक्ट आप बेचना चाहते हो कस्टमर उसे नहीं चाहता है, राइट? what you want to sell and customer don't want, because this is the biggest problem of the startups. They are selling uh, as per their ideas, not asking from the customers. Customer क्या चाहता है, they don't want, they are selling or putting some marketing efforts, they are funding or they are burning their money, their capital into their startup. So this is the important. So the problem faced by the startup, you can see the important thing is the marketing, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, मैंने हाईलाइट भी किया हुआ है। एंड द सेकंड इज द फंडिंग। दीज टू आर द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, marketing and funding, because if you don't have any fund you can't sustain your startup. Without marketing you can't reach the customers. Your idea validation, your team model you can maintain, but marketing and funding is the biggest. Okay guys, mean adoption and diffusion of innovation. Guys, this is a very important thing. In case of the innovation, we see all the five steps. What is this? Innovative leaders, opinion leaders, early majority, late majority, or assistant. Guys, it's an example of, we can take example of chat GPT, right? आपने चैट जीपीटी कब यूज करना शुरू किया, राइट? हु इज द इनोवेट द चैट जीपीटी, दैट कम्स अंडर द इनोवेटिव लीडर्स, एंड हु इज द अर्ली, जिन्होंने अर्ली अडॉप्टेबिलिटी किया, who they will comes into the opinion leaders, who will early majority, they are the, मतलब इनके अंदर काफी सारे मतलब पर्संस जो एक साथ उन्होंने अर्ली उन्होंने मेजोरिटी को उसको अडॉप्ट किया, दैट्स कम्स इनटू द अर्ली मेजोरिटी, एंड द लेट मेजोरिटी इज असिस्टेंट। Okay, जो अभी तक last, अब right now we are using, some persons are using a chat gpt, then it comes into the late majority, and the last is the laggards. Laggards, that means the people is bound by tradition and very conservative conservative, and they are very skeptical, and changed are the group bring on board. Okay, guys. So these all five are the steps of the innovation curve with the innovation. Okay, what is the next? Government debt funding option. Guys, I discussed just start at the time of the start of the this webinar. We will discuss firstly the government debt funding option, because मैंने आपको बताया था subsidies on depend on the fundings. आपको अगर सब्सिडीज देनी है तो देखिए कि फंडिंग्स कई तरह की होती है। जनरली देखा जाए तो हम लोग इंडस्ट्रियल सब्सिडीज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। सो हम लोग फर्स्टली विल डिस्कस डेप्ट फंडिंग ऑप्शंस। सो फर्स्ट बिफोर जस्ट स्टार्टिंग डेप्ट फंडिंग ऑप्शन, आई वांट टू मेक दिस चार्ट टू ऑल ऑफ यू। रेज मनी फॉर स्केलिंग अप, आपको किस केस में स्टार्टअप के लिए कैसे आपको फंडिंग लेनी चाहिए। Okay, so we will discuss three topics there: equity financing, debt financing, grants. Okay, so we will discuss firstly brief equity financing involving selling of proportion of the company equity in return for capital. Debt financing, you know, कि we will borrow money and paying interest against that of money. Okay, grant is a award and usually financials given by an entity to a company facilitated to a goal or incentive. What is the nature? This is a component repayment of the invested funds, right? Invested fund are repaid within a stipulated time, but they are not required the repayment in case of the grant. What's the risk? Risk in the case of the equity, there's no guarantee against the investment, because if in case of the equity, they will take the sharing of the profit. So फाइनेंसर्स के केस में उसको कोई भी गारंटी नहीं मिलती। स्टार्टअप नीड टू गिव अप ए पोर्शन ऑफ देयर ओनरशिप शेयरहोल्डर्स। ओके, फाइनेंसर्स की बात करें तो फाइनेंसर द लेंडर हैज नो कंट्रोल ओवर द एग्जांपल in case of the debt financial, as an example, in generally as in our practice we will see as an example cash credit limit. So bankers take some documents like आपके stock statement है, renewal papers है, right? They will take all these documents, but lenders have no control over business operation. They can give only suggestions, or they take some papers, but they can't to control our business. But in case of the debt financing startup, you may need to take some documents as a collateral. This is the risk for the startup. Okay, what is the collateral? In case of the some unsecured funding schemes, stock and debtor will be hypothecated as the primary collateral. Okay, and in case of the last grant, financial the risk of the startup not meeting the goals. आपको जो grant दी, what he is achieving the goals and objectives of that purpose or not. So this is the biggest risk for the finances. Okay, startup, there the risk of the startup not receiving the portion of the grant due to finances. Okay, the return to investor, capital growth for investment, interest payment, and so last involvement of the decision, equity investment. So this is the chart है ना, आगे सकते हैं इसमें। Guys, this is a very good question. Why choosing debt funding? डेट फंडिंग क्यों लेनी चाहिए? क्योंकि मैं ऑब्वियसली दिस टॉपिक वी आर टेकिंग टॉपिक ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स, बट डेट का हम लोगों ने ऑप्शन क्यों लाया है? बिकॉज एज ए प्रैक्टिसिंग सीएस वी रिक्वायर टू गिव कंसल्टिंग टू आवर क्लाइंट्स, so we require to understand firstly what the difference between debt and equity. So Debt is very important to our customer, because if we want to start our subsidy business, we require to giving funding under debt schemes. Okay, ownership retention, tax advantage, interest, you can claim the interest. Okay, control over business, predictable expenses, or short term solutions. The startup के लिए guys, let's start the funding and subsidy scheme. Okay, हम लोग शुरू करते हैं. तो guys, we make this PPT on the behalf of all our state wise. So I'm just briefing these all subsidies to the all states, but I will not discuss in the detail all these things. Okay, market Maharashtra में industrial policy है, investment interest stamp duty, electricity duty exemption, bad refunds, or Gujarat is the biggest state who are taking the subsidy. तो under the गुजरात स्कीम आप देखेंगे कि यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल एक स्कीम है CLCSS, जैसे मैंने जिस पर आपको बताया, कैपिटल लिंक क्रेडिट सब्सिडी स्कीम. दिस मोस्टली एप्लीकेशन subsidy, stamp duty concessions, single window clearance, and electricity duty exemptions and infrastructure assistance. Okay, Rajasthan RIPS. RIPS is a very important scheme for the Rajasthan industrial persons. Investment subsidy, employment generation under the that's PMEGP. Interest subsidy, investment subsidy, interest subsidy. इस स्कीम MULPY मुख्यमंत्री उद्यमी लघु प्रोत्साहन योजना, इंटरेस्ट सब्सिडी एक यहाँ पे चलती है. तो उसके अंदर 5 to 8% इंटरेस्ट प्रोवाइड टू द एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. सो वो उसके अंदर इंटरेस्ट क्लेम, अपनी सब्सिडी क्लेम कर सकते हैं ऑन क्वार्टरली स्टेटमेंट वाइज. Establishing a new industrial land, or you want to start up a factory or any industrial purpose, then you can claim your stamp duty. Okay, up to 100%. Firstly, at the time of 75, I'm telling about the Rajasthan scheme stamp duty exemption. At the time of the registry, 75%. Or when you will start your business, balance 25%. Electricity duty, these all are the Rajasthan scheme. Madhya Pradesh, this is a very good important scheme. Also, chartered accountants can claim under the Madhya Pradesh. This is very good scheme for the chartered accountants in Madhya Pradesh. So they can, if you want to establish your office, you can claim the subsidy on their equipments or your furniture. So you can see or you can read that subsidy on in the Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh Industrial Promotion Scheme, investment subsidy, interest, power, stamp duty, bad investment, and land. तमिलनाडु, these all, कर्नाटक, these all, आप पढ़ सकते हैं सारी सब्सिडीज, बिकॉज बहुत लंबा हो काफी कवर करना है. आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, यू कैन यूज दिस पीपीटी फॉर रीड आउट ऑल दीज थिंग. आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, उत्तर प्रदेश. उत्तर प्रदेश इज वेरी गुड. यहाँ पे वेरी गुड सब्सिडीज टू द न्यू स्टार्टअप, ODOP, one district one product. These are the very good subsidy for if you are doing business in the food processing activity. ODOP is because under this ODOP, they are specifically they make their personal website for the Uttar Pradesh, but in case of the other state they are using the website of the food processing department, right? But in case of the Uttar Pradesh, they will make their personal website for ODOP. So, as an example, ODOP is a very good website for the that state. Uttar Pradesh Industrial Investment and Employment Promotion, Capital Investment, Interest Subsidy, Stamp Duty. Okay, Haryana government is all our subsidy. Okay, guys, let's start the funding subsidy. I cover most other subsidies are also available in each other which are not covered in this PPT. So if you want, then I will provide the list of these subsidies. PMEGP, that's a very important and very good subsidy to the all of the practicing member who want to start their practice in subsidy, because Prime Minister Employment Generation in the last 2008, the two scheme PMRY and REGP was merged into the PMEGP, Prime Minister Employment Generation. Guys, startup के लिए this is the best scheme because they are giving subsidy up to 35%. 15%, 25%, and 35%. There are three slabs. In case of the SC, ST or ladies entrepreneur, or you want to doing business in the rural areas, you can claim 20, 35% subsidy. In if you are doing in urban areas, then claim 25% subsidy. And in case of the if you are a normal person other than SC, ST or ladies, then you can claim up to 15% subsidy of the loan funded. जो आपने लोन लिया उसका ये परसेंटेज आप सब्सिडी क्लेम कर सकते हैं. मैं कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स आपके साथ कवर करूंगा. देयर इज अ वेरी गुड सब्सिडी टू द स्टार्टअप्स. आपको लगता है कि आपका कोई क्लाइंट है जो स्टार्टअप है और ही इज एग्री टू फंडिंग अंडर द 50 लाख रुपीज. In case of the service segment, they can avail subsidy on the loan amount up to rupees 20 lakh. But in case of the manufacturing segment, you can claim subsidy up to rupees 50 lakh. You can take funding more than 50 lakh, but subsidy will be available to 50 lakh rupees. Okay. So under this scheme, you require to apply on that portal PMEGP. Also, I mentioned the barcode. You can scan this barcode. Also, you can click on that link. You can apply from that uh, barcode or that link. Okay. होना चाहिए आपको 8th क्वालिफाइड होना चाहिए. आप 20 और 50 लाख जो मैंने आपको बताया सर्विस सेगमेंट में 20 लाख रुपीज तक का आप सेटअप जो प्रोजेक्ट लगाते हैं. और इन केस ऑफ द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग न्यू बाइबल प्रोडक्ट सैंक्शन बाय द पीएमईजीपी. और आप अगर एग्जिस्टिंग यूनिट हैं तो आप इसके अंदर एलिजिबल नहीं है बिकॉज दिस स्कीम ओनली फॉर द न्यू एंटरप्रेन्योर. मैंने जस्ट बिफोर एक बात की थी कि एक नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेटेड बाय योर स्टार्टअप. दिस इज द बिगेस्ट रीजन प्राइम मिनिस्टर एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन प्रोग्राम, राइट. फॉर दैट पर्पज ये स्कीम ही क्या है कि आप जितने ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट करोगे ऑन एन एवरेज. एज ए एग्जाम्पल कि जनरली जो ट्रेंड फॉलो किया जाता है कि पर लैक वन एम्प्लॉयमेंट रिक्वायर्ड टू जनरेट अंडर दिस स्कीम. बट यू कैन आपको कम परसेंट भी आप भर के इसकी एप्लीकेशन लगा सकते हो. इसकी एप्लीकेशन कैसे लगी? फर्स्टली रिक्वायर टू स्कैन दिस बारकोड और क्लिक ऑन दैट लिंक. देन फर्स्टली रिक्वायर टू फिल सम इंफॉर्मेशन. इम्पोर्ट आई वांट टू गिव सम इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट टू यू. आपको ध्यान रखना है कि mostly are required to discuss with the bank about your loan because if your loan is अगर आपका लोन नहीं हुआ then this application आपका जो होगा पूरा खराब हो जाएगा. तो आपको करना क्या है? फर्स्टली आपको अपने बैंक से बात करनी है कि क्या मुझे फंडिंग मिल जाएगी. तो एप्लीकेशन आपको पहले भरनी है लेकिन बैंकर से भी बात करके आपको चलनी है बिकॉज आपने एप्लीकेशन तो सैंक्शन करा ली एट द टाइम बैंक ने मना कर दिया, डिनाई कर दिया दैट एट द टाइम government also. Okay. So cost of land is not covered. That's what the implementing agency under this scheme. Under the PMEGP, KBIC, NSIC, DIC. These all three or four board. These all four are the implementing agency. That means you can apply your application of PMEGP under all these four implementing agencies. Okay, you can select if any example DICs are not available. Mostly DICs are available in all and districts. But if you think I want to apply through KVIC, then you Khadi Vikas Industrial Commission, then you can apply from their department. Okay, application should be valid Aadhaar number. This is very important. At the time of the sign up for your account, first be required to put your Aadhaar number and validate Aadhaar number. Then after that, you will your credentials on your phone. A valid आपको एक ID and also in password will provide on your phone through message. Then after that you will go on the login page. You are required to upload some of documents as an example, more than 8th mark sheet, project report, your आपका आधार नंबर है, आपका of these documents. Then you will see a scorecard. एज एग्जाम्पल जैसे हम बैंकों में देखते हैं कि स्कोर कार्ड होता है. ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ द स्कोर कार्ड मिनिमम 50 मार्क्स आउट ऑफ 100 इज रिक्वायर्ड टू सबमिट योर एप्लीकेशन. द स्कोर कार्ड विल बी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ योर सिविल. What are you already are you filing ITR or not? your family member are filing ITR or not, location advantage, customer advantage, supplier advantage, and your electricity bill. Are you mortgaging some property or taking this loan against property or not? If you are not taking, then you will provide low score, and if you are providing, then it will give the high score to you on that each and every point. Okay, but minimum 50 points are required to submit this application. Okay. The next scheme, credit guarantee scheme for micro. Guys, this is a very important, very practical. Actually, in case of the central schemes, mostly डिपार्टमेंट आर assured to you कि आपको जैसे कई बार क्या होता है कि स्टार्टअप हम लोग फील करते हैं कि जैसे कि जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम में कई बार हमको फंड्स नहीं मिलते हैं, बट इन वी सी मोस्टली सी कि जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स की जितनी भी सब्सिडीज हैं, they always provide subsidy on time. Okay, this is the special CGT-MSE. Sorry, CGT-MSE. Under this scheme, we can take funding up to 5 CR. यानी हम लोग 5 करोड़ रुपए तक का हम लोग फंडिंग ले सकते हैं, और इसके अंदर हम लोग देखें तो 5 करोड़ की फंडिंग को हम लोग तो दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं, अंडर फॉर सब्सिडी सेगमेंट और फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेगमेंट। इन केस ऑफ द सब्सिडी सेगमेंट, सॉरी सब सर्विस सेगमेंट, उसके अंदर वी कैन टेक फंडिंग अप टू 2 CR, और इन केस ऑफ द manufacturing segment we can take up to 5 CR funding. Under this scheme, we are not required to keep any collateral for the bank. That's, अब मैं आपसे कुछ प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच पे जो बातें हैं वो करूंगा कि जनरली बैंक्स इसको नहीं प्रोवाइड कराती है, वो कहती हैं कि नहीं, विदाउट कोलेटरल वी विल एनीथिंग एल्स, हम लोग नहीं करेंगे इसके अंदर कुछ भी फंडिंग। तो यू कैन अप्रोच राइट नाउ थ्रू द सम ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट, जैसे कि एमएसएमई के थ्रू आप अप्रोच कर सकते हैं। राइट नाउ सम प्राइवेट बैंक्स आर प्रोवाइडिंग फंडिंग अंडर दिस स्कीम। ओके, आप कुछ प्राइवेट बैंक्स हैं, इट्स लाइक एज एक्सिस बैंक, HDFC Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank. Right now, they are providing subsidy, but for the existing businessmen. That means if you are a new startup, you can't take funding under this scheme. But in case of the existing startup, on the behalf of your turnover, as an example, your turnover is rupees 5 CR. Then, as per the RBI guidelines or as per the some bank or service of sales will be provided as a CC limit, right? So, on the turnover of rupees 5 crore, you can take funding of rupees 1 crore as a cash credit limit. Or if you want to take some term loan as a machine, so you require to firstly your वो जो का बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, दैट प्रमाइजन विल टेक ऑन फर्स्टली ऑन लीज। आप जितने टाइम का लोन लेंगे उतने टाइम का आपको लीज लेना होगा। दिस इज द कुछ मैंने जो कुछ प्रैक्टिकल कंडीशंस जो मैंने आपके सामने बताई है, यू कैन स्कैन दिस बारकोड और यू कैन पुट, आप इस लिंक के थ्रू दोनों से अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। इनोवेशन, आईपीआर एंड डिजाइन। guys, this is a very practical in case of the innovation, IPR, intellectual property right and design. Mostly of chartered accountants deal in trademark, IPR, it's like as a patent and design and other one, this IPR related services. Okay, तो ऐसे केस में we can give the subsidy to our customer or we can start our working in this field. This is a very good opportunity, a dynamic opportunity to all our chartered accountants. So, in case of the patent, we can take subsidy up to 1 lakh per patent. And in case of the trademark, we can claim subsidy up to rupees 10,000 per trademark. So what is the requirement? We require to file 3 forms. You can see there. Just you can see in the patent, right? Geographical indicators, trademark, patent. You can see the financial assistance. In case of the foreign patent, we can claim 5 lakh. Domestic patent rupees 1 lakh. GI registration 2 lakh, and design registration 15 lakh, and trademark point to 10 lakh. That means 10,000, 50,000. Subsidy, we require to file pre-receipt form to be submitted on letter of unit and leave the figure blank. Only signature to be done. That's mean these ऑप्शन आप दे डिपार्टमेंट आपको बताएगा कि कैसे कैसे उसे फाइल करना है। क्लेम डिक्लेरेशन फॉर्म और एक मैंडेट फॉर्म। ये 3 फॉर्म आपको डिपार्टमेंट में सबमिट करनी है. यू कैन क्लेम all these subsidies from the MSME, micro small, that's called DIMSME, Director Micro Small Medium Enterprises. In each and every state, these departments are available. Okay. Good subsidy, SCLCSS, Special Credit Link Capital Subsidy Scheme. If you want to start your business in subsidy, then this is a very good subsidy scheme to your customer. In case of the SCST, you can start the subsidy for SCST. Guys, in my practical approach, I want to as example, मैं एक example लेना चाहूंगा कि मोस्टली आपने देखा होगा कि जो तो हमारे जितने भी कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल्स हैं और हमारे जो टूर एंड ट्रेवल्स के जो कस्टमर्स हैं उनके लिए भी सब्सिडी का इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है. हाउ? इन दैट केस जितने भी व्हीकल्स हैं दे कम्स इनटू द कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल, जैसे कि जो येलो प्लेट नंबर व्हीकल्स होते हैं, वी कैन गिव सब्सिडी टू देम. कैसे कि जो उन्होंने ट्रक परचेज किया है, जनरली वी विल सी कि व्हाट द कॉस्ट ऑफ ए ट्रक अप्रोक्सीमेटली विद बॉडी एंड द चेसिस approximately 50 lakh rupees, right? And if we talk about the taxi, then approximately Innova Crista, approximately 25 lakh rupees. So we can claim subsidy at the rate of 25% on each loan of vehicle, but the subsidy limit up to maximum 25 lakh rupees. Example, मान के चलिए हमने किसी क्लाइंट को 50 लाख रुपए 50 लाख रुपीज का हम लोगों ने एक फाइनेंस करवाया ट्रक के ऊपर. तो देन वहां पे जो क्लाइंट को अगर वो SC ST है तो ऐसे केस में 12.5 लाख रुपए यानी 12.5 लाख रुपीज तक का वो सब्सिडी क्लेम कर सकता है. दैट्स मीन एट द इनिशियल स्टेज ऑफ हिज बिजनेस आपको उसको 12.5 लाख रुपए. देखिए क्लाइंट आपको जब तक नहीं कोई फीस नहीं देगा, जब तक आप उसको कुछ अच्छा करके नहीं देते, तो ऑब्वियसली दिस इज अ वेरी गुड एग्जांपल टू वेल्थ क्रिएशन ऑफ द क्लाइंट, आल्सो द वेल्थ क्रिएशन ऑफ अस, राइट? तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, सब्सिडी दिला सकते हैं. दिस इज वेरी गुड एग्जांपल. नॉट इवन कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल्स, आल्सो ऑन द इंडस्ट्रियल व्हीकल्स पे भी आप क्लेम कर सकते हैं. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट पॉइंट कि अब SC ST के लिए है तो हाउ कैन वी give this subsidy to our general or OBC clients. So in that case, partnership firms are allowed for the SCLCS. Yes, there for the filing. Just before मैं कोई complete कर लेता हूँ. In case of partnership, you can take the share of SC ST 50%, 51 or more than 51%, and general or OBC client up to 49 or less than 49%. In that case, you will fulfill all these conditions related to SCL, CSS. Okay, so you can claim this subsidy to all of your clients. Also, you can take funding in many of the forms, as if you can change, because in case of the partnership, uh, you will see new PAN card will obviously will apply. Okay, so quantum of assistance 25% of the procurement of plant, ceiling of rupees 25 lakh. So maximum ceiling limit is rupees 25 lakh rupees. Okay, ये तो हो गया है. Eligibility criteria: sole proprietorship, partnership, cooperative societies, private micro small enterprises, SC ST entrepreneurship, engage in the manufacturing service. ST SC MSE engage in trading activities shall not applicable. Okay. Uh, Okay, guys, right now this subsidy is working practically. We are putting some application on the behalf of the client. So right now, ये subsidy working in है. You can apply for your clients. Okay, and what is the documentation requirements? Guys, you required to take many of the documents. Approximately 10 to 15 documents required for this subsidy. For this subsidy, you can take the documents from the bank. Many of the certifications like chartered accountant certifications require valuer certifications, because the value assessment of the value of the machine will assess by the valuer, independent valuer. So valuation certificate is required. Chartered accountant is check the machine invoices or other things are genuine or not. So we will require to give the certification for that machineries. Other certifications from a banker side and some certification from the client side. So you can start your working in SCL CSS. This is very important. Next is MSc CDP. Guys, this is the cluster development program. This is a very good subsidy. Actually, what the mean of the clustering? In my research story, also this is a part of the topic cluster. What the cluster? Why the China is very successful? Because is the important. It is the important कि cluster की वजह से ही China आज इतना successful है. What the mean of the cluster? In the cluster, many of the industry of the same fields are working and comes on a same palace. आसपास का जैसे एग्जांपल मान के चलते हैं हम बात करते हैं जयपुर की. जयपुर के अंदर वी विल टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ कुर्ती मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, राइट. Kurti manufacturers, if they want to expand their manufacturing activities or services, and they want a bigger plant in the Jaipur, or they want the specific machines for their all of the industry, then some of the industries come together first, and they will demand a specific machine from under this scheme from MSME. So it's a very good example. Also, I want to give another example of NSIC department, National Small Industries Corporation. This is a very good example. चाइना के अंदर क्या किया जाता है कि if they want to manufacture any product, they want to manufacture kurtis. So उनको उसके लिए लाखों मीटर कपड़ा चाहिए होगा. एट दैट टाइम कि जितनी भी इंडस्ट्रीज है उसका वो क्लस्टर क्या करता है, ऑर्डर लेता है. एग्जांपल मान के चलिए 50 लाख मीटर कपड़ा उनको सभी इंडस्ट्रीज को चाहिए होगा. अगर दे विल टेक सेपरेटली ऑर्डर, देन द ऑर्डर वैल्यू, ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी विल बी अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1 लाख मीटर or 2 lakh or 3 lakh मीटर. बट दे विल ऑर्डर इन सिंगल बल्क in cluster basis, then order quantum will be approximately more than 50 lakh meters. So you will see the cost of that जो आपका वो कपड़ा है उसका जो कॉस्ट है वो आपका काफी चीप पड़ेगा. सो क्लस्टर एनएसआईसी इज द सेम एग्जांपल. और क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट का भी यही काम है कि जो भी कॉस्ट है प्रोडक्शन की उसको रिड्यूस करना. और इस रिडक्शन को कैसे कम किया जाएगा? आपकी जो इंडस्ट्री का जो ग्रुप है, जो एसोसिएशन है, जो क्लस्टर है, उनकी डिमांड को एक सिंगल क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम स्कीम. अंडर दिस स्कीम आप देख सकते हैं इसमें क्वालिटी, मार्केट एक्सेस, स्किल्स, टेक्नोलॉजीज, मशीन्स, ये आपको टू बी सेट कॉमन फैसिलिटी सेंटर, टेस्टिंग, ट्रेनिंग, रॉ मटेरियल डिपो, एफिशिएंट ट्रीटमेंट, कंप्लीमेंटिंग प्रोडक्ट और प्रोसेस. ये आपकी बेनिफिशियल है. क्रिएशन ऑफ कॉमन फैसिलिटी सेंटर इंक्लूडिंग प्लग एंड प्ले फैसिलिटी, सपोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट एंड फ्लेटेड फैक्ट्री कॉम्प्लेक्सेस. सो इस स्कीम में हमने देखा कि एक पूरी बड़ी इंडस्ट्री के लिए जो डिपार्टमेंट क्या करेगा, आपको एक फैसिलिटी सेंटर दे देगा. वहां पे आपको जो रिक्वायर्ड मशीन्स हैं, जो छोटे वेंडर्स, जो छोटे मैन्युफैक्चरर्स नहीं खरीद पा रहे हैं, तो ऐसे केस. Next subsidy is the NABARD-based subsidy, food grain storage godam. Under this scheme, you can see that you can avail the maximum subsidy up to 50 lakh for warehouse construction. Guys, this subsidy also comes into the CLCSS part, right? You can see the NABARD has introduced CLCSS for construction of godam for agriculture produce. Any individual, any individual group of farmer, FPO, you will see partnership, proprietary and companies, NGO, self-help group can apply. That's mean the all mostly all भी आपकी सारी कंपनीज जो हमारे इंडिविजुअल हो, चाहे एचयूएफ हो, सॉरी इंडिविजुअल हो या ग्रुप ऑफ फार्मर्स हो, दे ऑल कैन अप्लाई अंडर दिस स्कीम. ओके. Here important point is that your first installment of loan should be disbursed on or before 31st March 2006. Guys, I covered the most and important points under this PPT, so I not cover the detailed because it will take very time for all discussion of each and every subsidy. So I will cover only most important points. Okay. So here important point is that your first installment का एक installment कम से कम आपका डिस्बर्स हो. In this NABARD subsidy scheme, you can avail subsidy maximum 5,000 metric ton storage capacity of warehouse. In other words, if you are planning to construct 6,000 metric ton storage capacity, meaning you can subsidy up to 5,000. That means this is a, up to 5,000 metric ton you can claim subsidy. What is the amount of the subsidy? That is a rupees 3,000 per in case of the FPO, Panchayat, Women, SC/ST, Self-Help Group, the subsidy rate will be 33.33%. But in other cases, the subsidy rate will be 25%. So you will see the maximum subsidy for in case of the SC/ST, Women, Panchayat, and FPOs, rupees 50 lakh. And in other category, you can claim subsidy up to 37.5 lakh. This is very good, or you can offer this subsidy to your food related clients and mandis clients. So this is very good. Subsidy for storage infrastructure under new agriculture marketing AMI scheme of NABARD. Guys, this is very good also. Individual group of farmer, partnership proprietary companies, corporates, NGO, self-help group, capacity of 50 metric ton to 5,000 metric ton for storage infrastructure, स्टेट एजेंसीज एंड स्टेट डेवलपमेंट, आप इसके अंदर देख सकते हैं। इसके अंदर भी आप अगर बात करें फुल, that's mean for warehouse with capacity of 50 metric ton up to maximum 10,000 metric ton. 33% of the project was subject to maximum 1,333.20 per metric ton for northeastern states, Sikkim, UT, Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep Island. And in case of the 33.3%, a project was subject to maximum 1,166 per metric ton up to 1,000 metric ton, and 1,000 metric ton to more than 10,000. Point is cover for registered FPO, Panchayat, Women, Scheduled Caste, and Scheduled Tribe entrepreneur areas other than point one. That means the first is on the basis of the state, the second is basis on the persons wise, but first is on the basis of the some state wise. That's like as a Lakshadweep, Nicobar, Sikkim, and northeastern states. Okay. The third point in the last, 25% of the project subject to the maximum of rupees 875 per metric ton for up to 1,000 metric ton, and 750 per metric ton for more than 1,000 in other options. The time limit within 60 days of the disbursement of the first installment of the loan from the advance subsidy, 50% eligible, and within 18 months completion of project 50%. So guys, these are the condition of this AMI scheme. This is very good and important. Right now these subsidies are working in this department. Okay. ODUP. I just before I take this scheme example in the UP government, right? ODUP. You will search on the Google ODUP. Firstly, you will see the website of the UP ODUP, because the specific website will is made by the UP government. A new scheme for food processing business youth scheme period is 2021 to 2024-25. This is the last year in case of the ODUP scheme. ODUP is a one district, one product. In this scheme, each and every district decide for a specific food related product. Guys, if you are interested to set up a food processing unit, then you can make the benefit of the scheme. As an example, in case of the Jaipur, tomato ketchup is the ODUP product, right? As an example, if I take the example of the Bharatpur in the Rajasthan as a district, then इसके अंदर हम जो सरसों का जो है तो उसके अंदर है। एज एग्जांपल हम बात करें कि इन केस ऑफ the guava is the ODOP product, right? So you can see your product at the website of the ODOP, and you can check your district what is the ODOP product. So if any entrepreneur want to start his business in this scheme ODOP related to that product which is defined by the government already on that district, so you can claim under this subsidy. What is the subsidy amount? Under this scheme, you can take subsidy of 35% of the project cost. But the ceiling limit of the subsidy up to rupees 10 lakh. The important thing is that the construction of the factory will cover under this scheme. Well, plant and machinery also cover under this scheme, but the construction shading, team shade जो हम लोग करवाते हैं, also part of the scheme. Okay. Preference will be given to the existing individual unit holder are dealing in ODOP. दैट्स मीन कि आप अगर ओडियो पहले ही उस ओडीओपी में काम कर रहे हैं तो उस केस के अंदर हम लोगों को उसके अंदर हम लोग क्लेम कर सकते हैं इस ओडीओपी स्कीम के अंदर। बट इन केस इफ अगर कोई न्यू यूनिट है, तो ऐसे केस में हम जो ओडीओपी जो है सपोर्टेड है, उसी में डील कर पाएंगे। एग्जांपल मान के चलिए कि ऑलरेडी आई एम डीलिंग इन द टमाटो केचप इन द जयपुर, so I want to start also a new segmentation into our factory. So I can claim subsidy under this ODOP scheme in Jaipur. But if any example, I want to start up any another product other than the ODOP product. As example, I want to start in the mango juice, but I can't start in this ODOP scheme because these products are not related to that sticks. Okay, so हम लोगों ने ODOP कवर की है। Eligibility unit should be operations, must be minimum 10 workers, should be involved in ODOP. The application should have the ownership right of the enterprises. Application for maybe proprietary and partnership. Application should be 18-year age and should possess at least 8th standard pass. It's like same as the PMEGP, right? So just हमको देख रहे हैं PMEGP के जैसे जैसे काफी सारी conditions हैं। Only one person from one family would be eligible for obtaining financial assistance. The family for this purpose would include self, spouse, and children. Minimum contribution 10% by the owner. This is very good if you want to start your business, or if you want to start for your client, then you can suggest this scheme ODOP to them. Okay. Okay. And the last ODOP compound फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर के अंदर लोगों ने इसमें देखा कि 35% इसका आपके अंदर क्या होगा, इसके अंदर क्रेडिट सब्सिडी आपको प्रोवाइड की जाएगी। ओके, द ट्रेनर सपोर्ट मार्केट लिंकेज एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया दिस ऑल ऑलरेडी आई डिस्कस। ओके, सो नेक्स्ट दिस इज राजस्थान बट दिस इज ओके। Okay, this is the important thing. What are the things to prepare for fundraising? So, guys, this is the business plan, financial plan, business strategy. If you are a startup and what will require to take for your fundraising, so you require to make your business plan. Under this business plan, you require to make financial plan, जो कि जैसे हम लोग जनरली आप देखते हैं कि जो स्टार्टअप्स के कॉन्क्लेव होते हैं, you will आपको वहाँ पे देखने को मिलता है कि some of the startups came there and they tell for their funding and for pitching to the investors, right? So what will require for fund? I will cover this PPT under this webinar because on the behalf of the client, we require to make all these documents. So I think this is the important PPT. If you are working in startup, you want to start activities, or you want to practice in a startup. So this is important because you are required to make some pitch deck. Okay, you are required to some projections, CMAs, DPRs, project report. Okay, these are documents for taking the fundraising. It can be of debt funding or it can be for equity funding. Okay, so financial plan, it will be in Excel or in PDF. Projection of financial cost per customer, revenue, expenses analysis, business strategies in Word. What is the size of the market? SWOT, quarter five model. Who is the competitor? Innovative solution. These are all the topics we require to cover under the business strategy in Word. हमको ये वर्ड फॉर्मेट के अंदर बनाना है। In the pitch deck, under this pitch deck, what will we cover? Opportunity in the market, problem of the market, solution of the problem, or projection of your business, and what is that? Okay, all these things will require to cover. Guys, firstly, I want to go in the another topic. Just wait, guys. If you want to start in startup segments, what are the new features and what are the services available in startup practice? So, firstly, ये required to आपको कैसे कैसे इसमें आपको प्रैक्टिस करनी है, how to gain the clients through all these startup segment. So, firstly, mostly of the startups आपको कहाँ मिलेंगे? मोस्टली ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स, अगर आप एग्जांपल मान के चलिए कि आप में से कोई बिल्कुल न्यूली चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और अपनी प्रैक्टिस स्टार्ट कर रहा है, तो उनको क्लाइंट्स को गेन करने के लिए कौन सा ऐसा पहले से, तो दैट्स इज द इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स। सो आई टेक एज ए एग्जांपल ऑफ द इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स जहां से आप कस्टमर्स गेन कर सकते हैं। दिस इज वेरी गुड। इन द लास्ट सेमिनार ऑफ द practice की पाठशाला, this is very good example taken also this जिस ऑफ चीज आपको कस्टमर गेन करने के लिए किस जगह से आप इसका फायदा ले सकते हैं, राइट? सो आई टेक सम ऑफ द एग्जांपल, इफ यू वांट टू दिस लिस्ट, I will give you, you can send your mail ID on my mail or my WhatsApp, then I will give to all of you this, these all seed firms, venture capitalists, top 10 venture capitalists, top 10 VC firms, and top 10 seed funders, top 10 incubators, right? Guys, I will cover all these things related to this only. If you want this Excel sheet, I will make this sheet especially for this webinar. If you anyone is want, then I will give you this Excel sheet. Okay. I will cover all these points just before. We just when we'll हम लोग जब स्टार्टअप्स की कुछ डेफिनेशंस पे आएंगे तब हम लोग यहाँ भी इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. So I will cover as an example of the Jaipur top 10 incubators. Okay. So we will discuss all these terms, what is the incubators and what is the, we right now we have time for time. Okay. Stage of the startup, we will see ideation stage. जैसे हम लोगों ने कवर किया था स्टेप्स के अंदर, वैलिडेशन, वैलिडेटिंग द टेस्टिंग ऑफ द प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ द मॉडिफिकेशन, अर्ली ट्रैक्शन, और ग्रोथ और एग्जिट स्ट्रेटजी. What is the exit strategy? Because if you are starting some startup under a product or services, then you will see at the last stage 4, you will see your product will reach at a high growth level, and after the growing you will see this required to changing your segment or your upgradation your product. So that's called exit strategy for your startup. Okay, that is a very important PPT. If you want to if you want to go into the startup funding, under the startup funding, what the options are available there, right? You can see, you can pitch on the behalf of your client for seed funding, for angel funding, for VC funding, for DAP, for large VC, from private equity, right? From strategic clients, okay? Or in the last, if you want to deal under your practice, you can work in SME IPOs. Right now, many of the chartered accountants or our colleagues are working in this field, SME IPO. Then you can start your practice in this field. Okay, these many of the options are available for your startup clients. You can see under the seed funding. Seed funding, that is at the initial stage of the startup. If startup want to take funding from the outside, then he will apply for seed funding. If a startup thinks angel investing, that's mean from the name of the, we identify who is the angel, right? Angels funding is a very important thing also with the seed funding. That these is the first stage is the seed. That is the first stage is the seed funding, right? Okay, just one. Okay. The next is the smaller BC's debt and early stage, right? Large BC's P. Okay. So depending on the stage of the startup, major source of financing enterprise may include saving of the funds, right? That's called bootstrapping. Bootstrapping, that's mean कि जो प्राइवेट अपना जो कैपिटल फाउंडर्स इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं एट इनिशियल स्टेज, it can be received through from his relative, from through his friends or any family members or his personal saving. Then the first two stages, the saving of founders, also family and friends, both called bootstrapping. Okay. The next who will comes into the story, that is the for a startup who will provide the funding to the startup at the time. It can be at the time of the ideation level or it can be at the time of the prototyping level. Okay. And the venture capitalist, who is the venture capitalist? Venture capitalist after comes after the angel investor. VC can be some private HNIs, right? Which is some individual HNIs who are starting their venture capitalist firms. They will take some fundings from the outsiders or from HNIs, high net worth investors, and they will give this funding to the startup, and they will see. But at that venture capitalist at after when you are scaling this product has been comes the MVP, minimum viable product. I will discuss this terms minimum viable product. So when your minimum MVP has been comes into the market and you are generating some revenues, BC watch your sales, your EBITDA, your profitability, your burn rate, your market risk, your revenue system. So all on the basis of the all these things, venture capitalist investment into your firm, incubation, company builder, and the accelerator. These are very good, important. I will discuss later this thing. Government subsidies. Mostly, I will discuss the government subsidy, and I make a PDF to all of you, so you can see if you want to which industry you are interested, you can start your in crowdfunding in India. No any startup is taking the funding, but in the US market, it is very famous to the crowdfunding. In this case, if you want to plan, if you will pitch your startup idea in front of the many of the people on a particular website, and some of person investment in a small amount of funding to you. After the completion of product, firstly the you will see you will reach that customers, and they will firstly provide to the your product or service to that customer who is investing in as a crowdfunder. Okay, internal financing, operating cash flow. ओके, इंटरनल फाइनेंसिंग ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो, दैट्स मीन कि जो आपका कैश फ्लो है उससे ही हम लोग उसका फाइनेंसिंग कर रहे हैं, बैंक लॉन्स और आपका आईपीओ और बीडी, these all are the things. Guys, I covered all this thing. Bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is a startup, mean growing a business with a little or no venture capital outside the investment revenue of operating and expand. Okay, already I discussed friend and family, grant and prize money. These are the first stage. That's called pre-seed stage. Okay, that's called pre-seed stage for a startup. Okay, the next thing is the seed stage. Under the stage, we will see incubators. Who is the incubator? Are the organizations set up with the specific goal and assisting entrepreneurs with building and launching their startup. Not only do incubator offer a high number of the value-added services, they often also make grant, debt, and equity investment. That means just before I take some example of the incubation centers, right, in the Excel sheets to you. So with the help of the incubators, your startup can achieve their objective and goals. For as example, a place where providing all these assistance related to the office and other software, other machineries also available on that places. Also, they will provide to the funding through the equity, debt, and other things. Okay, through grants. As an example, we will see and doing their PhD, and there the incubation centers are available there. So any startup who want to start their working, so he can help them. He can take the help of that incubation centers. Okay, the government loan schemes. Just I want to discuss many of the scheme. If you want to write this scheme, or it will help to all of this your startup. Example: Stand Up India. Stand Up India is a very good scheme to the startup if the startup is related to the SC, ST, and the ladies. If the in case of the partnership or the company or the LLP, if the all three are staking more than 51%, they can take funding without any collateral up to 2 CR. Just before I take example of CGTMSC, right? I mentioned there in case of the CGTMSC, mostly bank prefer existing units, but in case of the new unit, you can avail the Stand Up India scheme for your client. Okay. Also, some another scheme is PMEGP. PMEGP is a very good scheme because this scheme under this scheme you can take the funding up to 50 lakh rupees for manufacturing, and for service up to 20 lakh rupees. And I will cover also this. Okay. And angel investor, crowdfunders. ओके, एंजल इन्वेस्टर मैंने आपको बताया, क्राउड फंडिंग आपको बताया है, VCs, yeah, VCs is very good. This is a professionally managed investment fund that invests excessively high growth startup. Each VC has its own investment thesis, preferred sector, stage of the startup, and the funding amount. They know about their sectors, in which sector they which state they want to invest, and funding amount, what is the limit of the funding of the BCs, and which should align with one startup. Okay, BC take startup equity in return of their investment. They always take equity and actively engage in mentoring of their investment. A very good example of the BCs as a we have will see them some examples. Just wait. Mm, yes, yeah, these are the BCs. I will make a list of the top 10 BCs in the India. Okay, you can see from there where from Bangalore, right? From Mumbai, from Bangalore, mostly are from Bangalore or Mumbai. Okay, so you can use this list, and I also provide the phone numbers, mail ID, and who is the founder, and what is the address, what is the of this Excel sheet for your customers and clients. Okay, banks, NBFCs, all of you know about how can we take the funding from the banks and NBFCs, venture debt funds. Okay, under the debt fund, we can take are the private investment funds that invest money in startup in form of debt. That means they require to repay interest on their funding. Okay, but in case of the BC, they will take the equity and they will take share, and after that they will use exit strategy. Then they want to earn on their investment. Okay, late stage venture capital fund also the comes into the late stage and the private. Generally, we series funding also the part of the BC fundings. Okay, Series A, Series B, Series C, private equity investment firms. These are okay. Pre-seed funding. This is the pre-seed funding. Just a pre-series A, Series B. Guys, okay, आगे चलते हैं. Okay. Startup tax benefit. This is very good. Actually, if any member in practice want to start their practice, especially he can specialize in this field because a startup tax benefit is a very specific and very good segment for their working. Under this startup 80 ICs, mostly we know about which section. हमको इस सेक्शन के लिए क्या चाहिए? DIPP, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी एंड प्रमोशन का लाइसेंस चाहिए. DIPP is a very important certification for the ATIC. Under this section, we can claim 3 year consecutive financial out of first 10 years. So mostly this is all these related to the income tax matter. So all of we are chartered accountants, so we know this topic. Also, we will cover entity should be recognized as startup. Point. The ATIAC can't be take benefit. 80 IC का जो benefit है वो partnership can't claim. वो partnership claim नहीं कर सकती because you can see only private limited and limited liability partnership is the eligible for tax exemption under section 80 IAC. Startup should have been incorporated on first after 2020 2016 और 25 CR से ऊपर का टर्नओवर नहीं होना चाहिए. The government exempted the tax being levied on the इन्वेस्टमेंट अबव द फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू. ओके, ये आपका टैक्स हो गया है. अब हम लोग बात करते हैं इसको. जस्ट वेट. यस गाइस, हम 100 राइट नाउ एंड द 31st December 2024 राइट नाउ 108 यूनिकॉर्न्स आर फ्रॉम इंडिया. What the mean of the unicorn? His valuation is more than $1 billion, right? $1 billion. That's mean 8,346 crore rupees at the today rate. मतलब आज की रेट 83 रुपया 83 रुपीज 46 पैसा अप्रोक्सीमेटली है. दैट्स मीन 8,346 करोड़ रुपीज जिसका वैल्यूएशन निकल चुका है राइट नाउ. 108 यूनिकॉर्न्स एट on 31st December 2004. You can see the list of the all these unicorns. Okay, what is the startup incubation centers? Incubation are the operations set up with a specific goal of assisting and building and launching their startup. If you think कि आपको कोई ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म चाहिए, you want to any mentor who can do help of your startup, of your management, of your team, of your product, of your service, of your strategy, of your subscription. So you will require, it's mandatory. You can tell your client कि आप incubation center की help लीजिए because they will provide all the other sources which require for a start. What the help? Secretarial services, आपका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटी, बिजनेस सर्विस, फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस और आपका पीपल कनेक्टिविटी एंड नेटवर्किंग. जैसे एज एग्जांपल मैंने आपको बताया कि इफ यू वांट टू मेक if you want to make some clients related to the startup, then you can use the networking through the incubation center. Also, जैसे चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट को भी कस्टमर चाहिए, ऑब्वियसली अगर कोई स्टार्टअप को भी अगर गेन करना है नॉलेज रिगार्डिंग और नेटवर्किंग क्रिएट करनी है, देन यू कैन यूज ऑफ द इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर, एजुकेशन एक्सेस टू नॉलेज, brand building, or management of the program. Okay, guys, these are service related to the startup incubation. Incubation is a very important. This is the first stone. That's mean कि उसको अगर अपना पहला कदम रखना है तो उसको incubation center से शुरू करना चाहिए. Mostly of the startup which was the right now are the यूनिकॉर्न्स जो सो उन्होंने अपना इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर से ही शुरू किया है. Okay, incubation centers. Okay, these all are the commonly used terms in the startup. I will cover all these things. Okay, incubators and accelerators. Incubators आपको बताया कि an incubator offer businesses resources and mentorship to get through some of the initial growth program. Just one. We will discuss, if we will see the differentiate in the incubator and accelerator. The incubator is the long-term program. It will be approximately 12 to 24 months. But in case of the accelerators, it will be short-term program. It will be for the 3 to 9 months. So we will differentiate the between incubator or accelerator basis of the timing, basis of the resource, basis of the funding, basis of the grants and other facilities. Okay. Angel investors. I bootstrapping. Angel investor is someone who give the first funding to a startup, and bootstrapping, you're self-funded. What that means you use your funds of your family members, your savings, your family colleagues, other friends. Okay, more than 80% of the startups start through the bootstrap. Okay, co-working space. This is very important. This is the co-working space is an office that is shared by the employee from different companies. Generally, we will see many of the co-working spaces are established in all these cities of like metro cities and major cities. So the co-working space provides sharing of resources between all the company, all other employee of the all other companies, right? This model works particularly well for a startup because they can pay smaller fees to use of the share facilities. जैसे एग्जांपल देते हैं, co-working space होता है, देयर जो इंटरनेट है, जो रिसोर्सेज है, जो कि चलिए कोई मीटिंग हॉल है, तो आप ऑल दिस यू आर शेयरिंग ऑल दिस रिसोर्सेज एंड पेइंग द सम अमाउंट ऑफ टू द ओनर ऑफ द co-working space. Burn rate is a very important thing. Generally, you listen this burn rate in the Shark Tank India. So burn rate, mostly investors will want to know your burn rate. How quickly a startup is spending money compared to their capital during a determined amount of time before, during, out. That's mean कि what आप कितनी रफ्तार से किस पैसे को खर्च 10 lakh in a month for gaining 10,000 customers. So 100 rupees per customer is my burn rate. 10 lakh rupees per month I'm spending for gaining customer. So I will earn mostly averagely 10,000 customer per month. So what will be my burn rate? My burn rate will be 100 rupees per customer. Okay. Dragon. This is very good. Dragon is a rare startup that raised 1 billion in a single round of funding. Over is the example of the Dragon funding. Early adopters. Okay, early adopters. And early adopters is an influential client who uses your product. और जैसे हम लोगों ने बात भी की थी, जस्ट आपको बताया था अर्ली अडोप्टर और आपको मेजरली exit strategy. Exit, we already cover exit strategy. If any investor want to exit your startup and he want to recover his finance or investment which already invested in that company startup, so he can avail the service of exit strategy. It's IPO is a example of the exit strategy. SME IPO is an example of the exit strategy. That means they will sell their share to the another investors and they will take the premium also premium value with the their at par. Okay, entrepreneur often set up an exit strategy, which is how to they plan to sell their company via merger, acquisition, and or IPO. Doing so will allow them freemium. A freemium model is a popular choice for the startup. Freemium आपको मीम से आइडेंटिफाई हो रहा है कि जैसे एग्जांपल ओला उबर, उन्होंने इनिशियल स्टेज व्हाट पे थे, उन्होंने आपको फ्री राइड्स दी, दैट्स कॉल्ड फ्रीमियम मॉडल. choice to start up. It refers to offering customer and a restricted version of the product and service for free with more advantage options available to advanced customers. Okay, as an example, right? Canva. Canva is a very good example. You can avail the service of the Canva. You can editing some your images, and you can avail the. If an example for my YouTube channel. तो फिर मैं YouTube channel I will make any thumbnail. थंबनेल के लिए मेरे को मैं कैनवा यूज कर सकता हूँ. ओके, कैनवा के थ्रू भी हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, इसमें आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. ओके, आगे चलते हैं. Using low cost method to quickly grow of a company. Many companies these days turn to social media to growth hacking. Growth hacking, hockey stick. Hockey stick. Investor want to start growth curve look like as a hockey stick, potentially doubling metrics, sales or number actives. Launch a startup launch it when it finally bring its product or service to market. This can obviously launch is a very common terms you all of you know about that. Key, which is the more and test launch with the minimum press exposure in beta products and service to help entrepreneurs. Okay. Lean. The goal of the lean startup is to build and test product as quickly and inexpensively as possible to improve the product to the trial. Guys, is a very important. MVP, minimum viable product. Minimum viable product is very important because when you will make a startup for your customer or you will help for a client in the startup, then you will see investor wants what is the minimum viable product of the startup. So MVP, a bare bones model of a startup product that will show its key features. That means a product which has where beta and alpha both testing has been completed, right? ठीक. दैट्स मीन कि आपने क्या किया, मार्केट में कई बार आप देखते हैं कि कोई एप्लीकेशन बीटा टेस्टिंग पे भी आता है जहाँ पर आप उसका फ्री यूज कर सकते हैं. जैसे कि कई बार हमारे कोई फेसबुक फीचर्स हैं या हम लोग चैट जीपीटी यूज करते हैं. तो मिनिमम वाइबल प्रोडक्ट को टेस्ट करने के लिए एक प्रोडक्ट दैट इज शो द इट्स की फीचर्स एंड सेलिंग points without costing a fortune to make a full-fledged product before it has funding. Okay. पिच डेक मैंने आप पिच डेक पे पूरा एक कवर किया आपको कि if you want to show to your investor about your strategies, about your product, about your services, about your some models, right? About your team, what want to your customer, what is the problem of the customer, what are you solving into your startup. So you cover all important things in your pitch decks in front of the investor. After the we will see the pitch deck and they will take the decision on basis of their pitch deck कि they और क्यों इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए या इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. The goal is for the presentation to be short, informative, and enticing to show investor you have a great sustainable idea that will give them a great return on their investment. Okay. Go public IPO. That's called as an exit strategy. कि that's when you want to sell your shares to the public or through a public limited company on the public market through IPO, initial public offering. The startup look forward at this ultimate goal. Pivot. A pivot occur when a startup makes a quick radical shift to its business model. This could be in product or service or even the target audience. A smaller change is called incubation. Okay, guys. Pivot हो गया है. Scalability. We will cover the scalability. Uh, Startup terms are sustainability and potential growth of business. Then that means कि what is the stretching level of your business, कितना आप उस business को दूर तक लेके जा सकते हैं. What is the dynamic scopes in your product or of your service. That's scalability. The goal of the most business is to grow and provide good and service to an increasing amount of user. दैट्स मीन कि आप कितना स्ट्रेच कर सकते हो, कितने दूर कस्टमर्स पे, यानी व्हाट इज द आपकी होलिस्टिक अप्रोच क्या है, व्हाट आपके कस्टमर को जो आप कितना कस्टमर यूजर बेस आप तैयार कर सकते हैं. दैट इज स्केलेबिलिटी ऑफ योर बेसिस ऑफ योर scalability of your product and your services. Seed round, guys, we cover the series A, series B, series C. These all are the series funding. That's on the basis of the series. We will identify by the investor what is the last stage of your funding, or they can identify what this we will comes we can apply under this criteria now. Okay. Solopreneur. An entrepreneur typically has plans to start and grow a business. A solopreneur, on the other hand, start and potentially even grow a business alone. Solopreneur. स्वेट इक्विटी, दैट्स कि हमारे जो हम एम्प्लॉयज को हम लोग कोई भी अगर शेयर देते हैं, स्वेट इक्विटी। वैल्यूशन, यूनिकॉर्न वैल्यूशन इज रेफर, प्री मनी वैल्यूशन और पोस्ट मनी वैल्यूशन, दीज ऑल आर कवर। ओके, so guys, today I covered mostly related to, but जितना मैं कर सकता था, I will cover all these things.
Thank you very much,
And any
you sir.
queries, please? Yeah,
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for giving
welcome.
a great session on startup subsidies and entrepreneurship. Now, before closing the program, some questions from our members, esteemed members have, and I am asking on behalf
Okay,
of the members. First one is, what is the scope of these topics for a member in practice?
okay,
स्कोप्स के बारे में सर जानना चाह रहे हैं मेजरली की भी, ठीक है,
right,
क्या
right.
स्कोप हो सकता है या
Sir, I'm working in this field since last 2015. So, in comparison to the traditional practice, we see many of the opportunities and many of the workings are available under this field, because under this field you are providing subsidies, funding. Funding is a core area. जैसे मैंने बताया कि चार पिलर्स होते हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली फाइनेंस और मनी वो एक कोर एरिया होता है बिजनेस का। सो इफ यू वांट टू, आपको अगर अपनी फीस अच्छे से लेनी है किसी क्लाइंट से, देन दिस इज अ वेरी गुड एरिया फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस। सो आई जस्ट आई सी मेनी ऑफ द सब्सिडीज टू ऑल ऑफ यू। देखिए कितनी सारी सब्सिडी, तो आपके लिए दो सब्सिडी भी सफिशियंट है। यहाँ पे अप्रोक्सीमेटली मोर देन 70 सब्सिडीज आर अवेलेबल, 50 सब्सिडीज आर अवेलेबल है। अगर आप दो सब्सिडीज में भी डील कर रहे हो, इट विल सफिशियंट फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस। दैट्स मीन कि यू कैन, आप धीरे धीरे अपने सेगमेंटेशन को बढ़ा सकते हैं, और यू कैन enhance your expertise in all these fields. So I think this is well and very perfect, जो अपना सेगमेंट है, आप अपने स्कोप को बढ़ा सकते हैं, और आपको सब्सिडीज है, स्टार्टअप्स है, गवर्नमेंट फंडिंग्स हैं, और भी बहुत अच्छी हैं। आप एक्सपोर्ट सब्सिडीज में डील कर सकते हैं। दिस इज अ वेरी गुड स्पेस फॉर योर प्रैक्टिस।
तो ग्रेट सर, इट मींस सब्सिडीज एंड फाइनेंस इज द बेसिक स्टार्ट, मतलब
या
एरिया
नीड
टू
फॉर ईच एंड एवरी
एनहेंस द
क्लाइंट।
प्रैक्टिस. या
यस सर, यस।
सेकंड क्वेश्चन, हाउ टू गेन द कस्टमर फॉर सब्सिडीज? कस्टमर को कैसे अप्रोच किया जाए, ये एक एसटी
यस,
मेंबर का अपना
यस सर।
सवाल है. या
Sir, for this purpose, I make as an example of this एक्सेल शीट टू इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू। आप देख सकते हैं
या
कि इस एक्सेल शीट के थ्रू, आप जैसे एग्जांपल में बात करूं कि मैं जयपुर के लिए मैंने ये बनाया है कि
हम्म.
दीज ऑल आर द स्पेसेस। इफ यू आर ए न्यूली चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट, यू कैन सिट देयर। ओके, आप वहां बैठिए,
ओके.
आप पहचानिए, और आप देखेंगे कि मेनी ऑफ द स्टार्टअप दिल्ली कम्स देयर। You can discuss them, and also if you are working on, obviously एक चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट भी हमेशा एक स्टार्टअप की तरह ही होता है, राइट? सो यू कैन अवेल दीज ऑल फैसिलिटीज, दीज ऑल आर मेनी ऑफ द फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स, राइट? तो आप यहाँ से कस्टमर्स काफी स्टार्टअप्स के गेन कर सकते हैं। मेनी ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटीज हैव incubation centers. You can join these incubation centers and you can connect with your clients related to the startups. ओके, तो
ओके.
आप स्टार्टअप्स के लिए इनके थ्रू भी एक एग्जांपल है। आल्सो मेनी ऑफ ऑन द लिंक्डइन, यू कैन सी मेनी ऑफ द स्टार्टअप दे आर स्टार्टिंग देयर बिजनेसेस। आल्सो द स्टार्टअप इंडिया पोर्टल प्रोवाइड द डेटा ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स। स्टार्टअप इंडिया पोर्टल ऑब्वियसली ऑल ऑफ यू नोन। आप उसके थ्रू भी अपना पूरा एक, ऑब्वियसली उसमें पूरा एक मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम भी होता है। इतने स्टार्टअप्स हैं वहाँ पे जो डेली बन रहे हैं, यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट देम और यू कैन अटेस्ट। ओके,
Okay. And the third question from the esteemed member is, what is the most important subsidy used by the customer in industry?
okay. Mostly subsidies in my practical scenario, PMEGP. PMEGP is the big, very important and the highest avail subsidy. And the second thing is the CLCSS. But PMEGP is a very important, and mostly because this subsidy also applicable for all and each every MSME. As per the MSME definition, we will see the generally mostly in case of if they want to funding up to rupees 50 lakh, then he can easily apply on that scheme. Also, the subsidy of rupees a quantum of 35% is a very high quantum as a subsidy. In that
Great.
case, if you are applying for 50 lakh rupees, then 17.5 lakh rupees being as a subsidy under your finance. So obviously आपको सारे 32.5 लाख रुपीस आपको रिपे करने की रिक्वायरमेंट आती
ओके, थैंक यू सर। एंड अदर क्वेश्चन इज देयर एनी, आपने ट्रांसपोर्ट का एक कवर तो किया था SC ST के लिए, बट मेंबर है आस्क्ड, इज देयर एनी सब्सिडी फॉर गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी? जीटीए के लिए कोई
या
सब्सिडी है
सर,
क्या?
बिल्कुल जीटीए के लिए देखिए, मैंने आपको बताया कि गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एजेंसी ऑब्वियसली जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए ट्रक्स का यूज किया जाता है, राइट?
या सर।
So goods, if you are engaging the business of the goods transport agency, so आपके जो assets होगा वो obviously ट्रक होगा, आप लोगों को
डेफिनेटली यस सर।
राइट? तो आप उस ट्रक के ऊपर भी इस SCLCSS को अवेल कर सकते हो। SCLCSS यानी आप एक फॉर्म बनाइए, अगर आप जनरल हो या ओबीसी में, जिसमें 51% की स्टेकिंग SC ST को दे दीजिए। अगर आप SC ST हैं तो आप उसके अंदर ऑब्वियसली 25 लाख रुपीज तक का सब्सिडी क्लेम कर सकते हैं, इफ यू आर एंगेजिंग इन द गुड्स, इफ यू आर एंगेजिंग इन द बिजनेस ऑफ द GT
जीटीए।
सर्विसेज।
ओके।
ठीक है।
एंड वन क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम माय साइड, सर, हाउ मेनी टाइम्स a GTA can avail this benefit?
Yes, the maximum ceiling limit up to rupees 25 lakh maximum. That's mean up 1 CR is the highest loan amount under this scheme. But
या
in case if many family members are, जैसे एग्जांपल आपको लगता है कि आपको आपका क्राइटेरिया भी हो चुका है, तो यू कैन अप्लाई फ्रॉम द मल्टीपल नेम्स, अदर अदर नेम्स आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं इसको। This is
okay, thank you. And the last question from the members, I hope think this is the last. Does MAT attracts in case of ATICA benefit to an startup?
what sir?
Is MAT attracts to a company in case somebody take ATICA certificate from Startup India?
या स्टार्टअप इंडिया, अगर आप ATIC का बिल्कुल अगर आप करना वर्किंग करना चाह रहे हैं, राइट? तो
Yeah.
obviously you can do this is very good for in practicing. Last actually some of our colleagues in working in this field, we will see the many of the customers they gain through only this certification, because at the time of the startup, a newly formed can be easily, आप उसको अप्रोच कर सकते हैं और आपको सारा वर्किंग आप क्लेम कर सकते हैं। तो इट्स वेरी गुड फॉर आप ATIC का ऑब्वियसली फिर न्यू स्टार्टअप आप करते वर्किंग कर
No,
सकते
so I'm just asking, the member is asking for if any startup take a benefit under ATICA,
हैं। ओके,
then
बिल्कुल।
still he has to pay tax under MAT or not? Is
नो,
there
सॉरी सर, एक्चुअली दिस इज माय आउट ऑफ एक्चुअली आई एम नॉट वर्किंग इन इनकम टैक्स, सॉरी। तो मैट का मेरे पास बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, दिस इज माय
okay,
स्पेशलाइजेशन इन या स्टार्टअप एंड गवर्नमेंट फंडिंग एंड
okay,
सब्सिडीज। या,
okay. Thank you very much, sir. And
थैंक यू,
we
वेल
are
माय प्लेजर सर।
near to close our webinar. I would like to thank our esteemed member, Mr. Piyush Mittalji.
थैंक यू,
A
थैंक यू
special
सर।
thanks to all participants of the active engagement and throughout questions. Thank you very much. And now we are closing the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
ओके,
everybody.
ओके सर, वेलकम सर, वेलकम। या
Yes, sir.
श्योर सर, श्योर।
Recording stopped.